You too, man. What's good, man? This is your guy, Manny, and you are listening to the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell so that way you get content when I drop it. So, wanted to talk Ereck Flowers. I know I'm late reporting the news. I'm late talking about the news, but it's all good because sometimes when you're one of the later people to then talk about the news, you get all the details. So Ereck Flowers was traded from Miami back to Washington. Now, mind you, he signed that 30-year, that 3-year, $30 million deal. And everybody was panicking, like, whoa, Ron Rivera is cheap. Ron Rivera is that. Ron Rivera couldn't pay Ereck Flowers $10 million a year. Well, guess what happens? Miami now needs money. Miami had all this money. They were throwing money at everybody, throwing money at everybody. Now they need to, do some things, do some different things. So guess what? They got to let some guys go. They let Van Noy go. Now they essentially traded Ereck Flowers to the Washington football team for a swap of seventh round picks. That's crazy because when you think about it, Ereck Flowers is one of the better guards in the league. It took him a while. He was drafted as a left tackle. It did not work. He's not a tackle. He's a guard. So guess what? Came to Washington for one season and his career just changed. Bill Callahan was able to coach that guy, and then now he just took off. He took off. It was the best decision for his career, hence why he got paid in Miami. Now, in year 2 of his deal, Miami trades him. Everybody is speculating. Maybe Ereck Flowers wasn't good in Miami. Maybe Ereck Flowers didn't produce in Miami. That's not the case. Ereck Flowers was a very good guard, and not only is he good in pass protection, he excels in the running game. He's a mauler. He's a guy that will knock you down and beat you while you're on the ground. He's that kind of guy. So now you get him back. This trade helps Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson's stock is going to skyrocket way, 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 way high. So I'm excited for the signing. So pretty much essentially we're swapping seventh round picks. And Ereck Flowers is guaranteed $9 million this season. But guess what? Miami gets to pay $6 million. Washington plays $3 million. So here are the pros and cons of this Ereck Flowers deal. The pro is you're getting a starting left guard in the NFL for $3 million. Okay. The cons, you can say, okay, well, if it doesn't work, so what? You now have depth. You now have a guy who can come in and be a backup guard. His contract next year is not guaranteed, so you can cut Ereck Flowers after this season. So again, the pros outweigh the cons. The cons is that, okay, he's not a starting guard, but at least you'll have depth. That's something that Washington has suffered to have. Sean Laval, y'all remember him? Dude was trash, man. The dude was terrible. And, we tried and tried and tried for years. We were looking for a left guard. And we finally got one in Ereck Flowers. We couldn't pay him. We let him go. Ron Rivera did not want to pay anything more than, he didn't want to pay $10 million a year. I think the number was $8 million, right? Even with the contract now, he has $13 million left on his contract for 2 years. Mind you, because Miami has paid that $6 million, what's left is 13. So you do the math. The money is right around where Ron wanted Ereck Flowers. So at the end of the day, you can keep an Ereck Flowers. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's talking about Brandon Sheriff. Oh, Brandon Sheriff is not going to play this season. Oh, Brandon Sheriff is leaving. Here's my whole take on Brandon Flowers. Brandon Sheriff. Too many Brandons. So if Brandon Sheriff leaves, right, it makes more sense for next season. This season, he already signed his deal. It becomes official after July. I'm not sure of the date in July, but it becomes official in July. So to trade Brandon Sheriff now, right, you're only going to get at most a 6th round pick because whoever that's getting Brandon Sheriff will now have to extend him. So nobody's going to give you draft capital for a guy that they can get for free next year, right? So in order for you to see a trade with Brandon Sheriff, it might even be post June 1st, or July when the deal becomes official. So even if a deal is made now, right, whoever is getting him gets to extend him. That's fine. But like I said, I don't think you get anything more than a 6th round pick. for a guy that you can get for free next year. Or when you think about comp picks, when people leave, right? So if Brandon Sheriff was to leave right now, I mean, after this season, Washington will probably most likely receive, it'll be a third based off of what we do in free agency. If we make a lot of moves in free agency, then that comp pick ends up being maybe a fourth or a fifth. So you look at a fourth and a fifth as a realistic choice. Okay, do we let Brandon Sheriff walk and get that fourth or fifth, maybe sixth? Like I said, that comp formula, it all depends on how much you sign versus how much you lose to even determine, what pick you get. So we're like, so realistically, we're looking at fourth, fifth, or sixth round compensation if Brandon Sheriff leaves. So why would a team pay you more than a 4, 5, or 6? Most likely it's going to be a 5 or a 6 right now. Does it help the Washington football team win games? No. And if there was to be a trade, there'll be a draft pick for next year. So a lot can happen between now and July 1st. But what I like to see is everybody's thinking that Brandon Flowers was brought in to replace Sheriff. To move from left guard to right guard is a whole nother ball game. It's going to take some time. So if that's the initial plan, that's going to take some time to go from this to that. What I see happening is Ereck Flowers is going to win the job. He's going to fight with Wes Schweitzer, who was very, very good last season, but we brought in the West to be a backup, not a starter. That does not mean that Ereck Flowers is going to be handed anything. So I think Ereck Flowers wins the job, solidifies left tackle, right? Then we have Switzer to play some left guard. Now, Switzer can possibly play right guard as well. He filled in for Sheriff and did an awesome job. So I'm not saying that Switzer becomes that right guard of the future. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is what this allows Washington football to do is now they're solid at left guard. You need to worry about right guard. So in the middle rounds to late rounds, you're going to see the football team select a right guard. I don't see them grabbing a guy like Elijah Vera Tucker in the first round. That's just out of the picture. So I don't see a guard being drafted in the early rounds. Tons of needs. With us solidifying left guard now, we have options. So now we can go ahead and grab a linebacker. We can grab a safety, tight end, running back in the mid rounds, wide receiver. That's what this trade allows Washington to do. And I like it. So at this point, we're looking for a right guard that can possibly take the place of Brandon Sheriff, because I don't think a deal gets done. If a deal gets done, great. But moving forward, how our line looks right now, let's start with the interior. You got the left guard, Ereck Flowers, Chase Roulier at the center. You have the right guard and Brandon Sheriff for this season. Now, right tackle, Morgan Moses. Left tackle is kind of where it's still shaky. You got Cornelius Lucas, another guy who's a swing tackle. So we're still looking for a left tackle in this year's draft. That's still in play. And if the guy that the football team wants falls, that's the pick you make. So a lot can happen between now and Thursday. I can be talking right now, and Brandon Sheriff is probably traded. I don't know. But my prediction is that Brandon Sheriff plays this season, then he walks next season, and we receive a comp pick. That's the best case scenario at this point. If you wanted to trade Brandon Sheriff, you should have done it months back. Now it was a little bit too late. So that's that. Left tackle is kind of where we need help. You got DaRon Christian. He's just a jag. He's just another guy. You have Sadiq Charles. He can play left tackle, but he's a better left guard. So now you have three guys that can play left guard. Maybe Sadiq Charles is the backup to Ereck Flowers, and then Switzer is the backup to Brandon Sheriff. So the biggest needs right now is right guard and left tackle for the team moving forward. Left guard is okay for now. Our center is rock solid. So let's talk about DaRon Payne. DaRon Payne, heck of a talent. The football team just picked up his fifth-year option. Great decision. This defensive line, it's time to pay these guys. Jonathan Allen is in the last year of his deal. DaRon Payne's fifth-year option has been picked up. So with the cap space that we have, I looked at something and it said that we had $18 million available in cap space. Now, granted, we only paid Ereck Flowers $3 million, so we still have some money that's going to be able to roll into the next year. Especially, I see the football team filling some needs after the draft. Get some key pieces here, key pieces there. Low 1-year deals. So that's probably what Ron Rivera is going to do to preserve as much cap as possible to go ahead and re-sign Jonathan Allen after the season. That's the number one priority. After re-signing Jonathan Allen, then you have a guy like DaRon Payne. You got to go ahead and extend him after his 5th-year option is up. So we are in that zone where we want to start competing for playoffs and eventually Super Bowls. But at the same time, you can't pay everybody. You got Big Matt out there. You have what's his name, Settle. We have 4 defensive tackles that are starting caliber players right now, currently. So it's going to be hard to keep everybody. Sorry to say it. Somebody gets traded. I don't know who. Washington might say, hey, we have a need at left tackle. Maybe we swap a Payne or Allen for a starting left tackle. I don't know. I hope not. I want to keep all 4 first rounders on that defensive line intact for as many years as possible. Chef Dre, man, appreciate you. Chef Dre says definitely can't pay everyone. Someone is getting traded. Yes, somebody's getting traded. And I'm hoping that it's not a fan favorite. Because if it's a fan favorite, in this franchise, like when this franchise clings to a player, we cling to a player. We saw what Taylor Heineke did in 5 quarters. 5 quarters of football, and everybody, including myself, was ready to give him the reins as a starting quarterback of the team. So a lot can happen. The offseason is just getting started. After the draft, we still have a ways to go. So I'm excited for it all. Picking up the 5th option for DaRon Payne was a no-brainer. I remember in that year, everybody wanted Vita Vea. Vita Vea is a great player, but he's not the kind of player that DaRon Payne is. Chef Dre says, stage 5 clingers. Yes, we are stage 5 clingers, especially now that we're putting together a roster that's nice, putting together a roster that people want to buy jerseys. Well, we're going to buy jerseys regardless because we're Washington fans. But now we actually have players that other people want. And mind you, every single year, somebody drops in the draft. Jonathan Allen fell to us. DaRon Payne fell to us. So there seems to be a trend here, right? Chase Young literally fell to us. He should have been the number 1 pick of the entire draft. I don't care what anybody says. Joe Burrow's nice, but I think that Chase Young is the best player in that draft. Okay? We could have traded back and gotten a quarterback, but we wouldn't have Chase. Chase Young makes that defense go. Chase Young helped take that defense from regular to super, okay, to elite status. The defense is great. That front 4 is great. Once we get some linebackers, this defense can be really, really elite. Linebacker, free safety. 2 things the football team needs to take this defense from good to great and for years to come. Because as this D-line starts to get a little older and more expensive, you're going to see where we bring in cheaper options, kind of like San Francisco did. They had to let go of that big boy in the middle. They had to let him go to the Colts in order to then draft another guy in Kinlaw to keep that thing going. So the good thing is with the football team, we have 2 guys that come off the bench that are arguably maybe better than the starters. You can make an argument that Matt Ioannidis is the best pass rush interior defender that we have. You can make that argument. But I love Payne. If I had to choose between Payne and Allen, I'm choosing Payne. Number 1, he's younger. Number 2, I love his upside. But Payne is not the leader that Jonathan Allen is. Both guys are beasts. So we need to enjoy this while we have it. While we have this line, we need to enjoy it. Once we get that free safety and that linebacker, I'm telling you, this defense is going to be special. The defense played very, very well last year, right? We were able to shut down some teams. We were able to make key plays. But I want a defense like the Chicago Bears had, a defense that the Baltimore Ravens had, to where they can shut you down, right? And then keep you from scoring. But also, that defense was also able to score points. So if we can get a defense that creates turnovers, oh man, you give this offense a short field, This team can be very, very special. So, guys, that's my time. I wanted to come on here, share my thoughts on the whole Ereck Flowers deal. Football team got a steal. Pretty much, we got a starting left tackle for $3 million. So, pretty much, Miami is paying us to take Ereck Flowers. Gladly, gladly. Now we don't have to waste mid-round or early round picks on a guard if we don't want to. It gives us options. It gives us flexibility. So I love it. Love the move. Appreciate you guys for checking me out. If you're new to the channel, like I said, like, subscribe, share this thing out, man. The more that the channel grows, the more that I can do more for the fans, like giveaways and jersey giveaways and hat giveaways and stuff like that. So I would love to do more. And I would love to bless you guys that continue to support me. Yeah, Flowers is the starting left guard. Hey, Brandon, man, what's up, bro? Thanks for jumping on the show. Yes, Brandon Flowers is definitely the starting guard, left guard. He should have never left. But then again, it's a business. I want to say this before I get off. Everybody's mad at Ereck Flowers for leaving. Look, if your job offered you more money, you'll take the money, right? You're not going to tell your job, hey, I'm going to give you my services for a discount. Who does that? Nobody does that at their job, right? So Ereck Flowers knew his value. Ron Rivera knew Ereck Flowers' value. Then there comes a point to where can the two meet? The two couldn't meet. I think Ron Rivera's numbers was $8 million. Ereck Flowers wanted $10 million. $2 million was the reason why Ereck Flowers left. You can't blame him. Then you get to go to Miami. Come on, Miami, DC. Miami, DC. Lifestyle in Miami, DC. All right, I'm going to stop there. DC is a great place. I grew up in DC. I love DC, but hey, in Miami. All right, it's Miami. You know what I'm saying? So that's why that happened. But it just is what it is. And I listened to Ereck Flowers' interview today with Josina Anderson. He was excited. He said, "I am excited" 3 or 4 times. That was like the biggest thing that I got from the whole thing, was that Ereck Flowers is excited to come back to DC. And like I said, for those who missed the early part of the stream, this benefits Antonio Gibson tremendously. You're going to see the running game go from regular to almost elite. I'm telling you guys, Ereck Flowers is a great run blocking guard. You're going to see it. You're going to see Antonio Gibson run more through the middle. And I'm hoping that we're able to draft a guy like Kenneth Gainwell or who's my other guy? I can't think of my other guy right now, but we need somebody who can run through that middle. Oh, yeah, Stevenson, Ramondre Stevenson. I would love to have him on the football team. We need that back that can run through the middle, gain the tough yards. It's nice to have the guy that can go outside, but sometimes you need those tough yards. So, guys, once again, this is your guy, Manny. This is the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. Tomorrow, Wednesday night at 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern time, I will be going live. I will be doing a Back Row Redskins show on this channel. I'll be streaming it here on YouTube and also to the Talking Sports with Manny Twitter channel. Then I'll stream it out to my personal channel and then to the Back Row Redskins Twitter page as well. So, guys, come on in, interact. If you got questions, concerns, drop them into the comments, because I like to interact with the football team fans. This is a podcast by a fan for the fans. It's a podcast for the people, from just a regular guy who just enjoys talking sports. Got some fantasy football stuff coming. Got some NBA stuff coming. Once again, share this thing out. Appreciate you guys. I'm out. Peace.